There we go. All right, welcome everyone. This Thursday, July 13th, Warminster Township Board of Supervisors meeting. Can we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we please remain standing for a moment of silence for all our brave servicemen and civilians serving overseas, please? Okay, thank you very much. All right, welcome everyone and everyone watching on television. We have a nice agenda tonight, and we have some announcements. We did have an executive session tonight. We went over litigation, and that's about it. I think you just went over litigation, correct? Personnel matters. Well, yeah, personnel matters, right. Okay, great, thanks. I do have one announcement from Bobby Loftus, our tax collector. I just wanted to bring this up and thank all the residents for all their paying their taxes on time, because we are at 98% paid. That's fantastic. I just want to say that makes it so much easier for this township to operate, because we can actually budget for the following year and pay for all the services that we provide. So thanks again to all the residents and everyone here. It really means a lot to the township, and it helps us operate in the black. Thank you. That's all I have. Kathy?
I have no announcements tonight, Mr. Chair.
All right. Mark?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just have a few from Park and Rec. Pop-up Farmers Market will be this Sunday, July the 16th, at Warminster Community Park, in and around the Hollowell Pavilion. And enter using the Veterans Way entrance, because the Bristol Road entrance will be closed for a private event. Community yard sale scheduled for August 19th from 8 a.m. till 1 p.m. at Warminster Community Park. You can register your space at warminsterpa.myrec.com. Sponsor, vendor, and information booth registration is open for Warminster Day, which will be the 23rd of September in Warminster Community Park. We have moved it to September this year for those that weren't aware. We are still accepting food truck applications. New artisan vendor rate is available for local crafters, and you can register at warminsterpa.myrec.com. Discount tickets are still available through Park and Rec Department, including Aquarium, Maury's Piers, Treetop Adventures, and Trevos, and many more. For information, you can go to Park and Rec through the Township website, or call 215-443-5428. I have that, Mr. Chairman, and one more. I always make it a habit to recognize when there's a former supervisor in the room, and I want to welcome Representative Monroe to the room. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Janice?
It's good to see so many out here today. I hope everybody had a wonderful 4th of July weekend, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the summer. Make sure you're checking in on your senior neighbors, because sometimes they forget the temperature, and just check in on them, make sure they're doing good. Thank you.
And Judy.
I just want to tell you the event we had at the library on the 24th was wonderful. The Harriet Tubman event was a full house, standing room only. And the actress that played Harriet Tubman was, you would really have thought you were there talking to this woman. It was really interesting and informative. And that was a big success. And coming up in the library is going to be family movie night on the lawn on August 22nd at 7:45, and trivia night on August 29th, the Golden Age of Hollywood trivia. So that should be fun too for the adult entertainment. So we don't know the movie yet.
Okay, that was my question.
Try to come out to your library.
Is that it?
Well, I was going to announce the park thing, but of course that's Ben Wilson Center is sponsoring it, but that's okay. So,
Okay.
how about-
The
he
Pop-up
took-
Farmers Market? Oh, I didn't know that was sponsored.
Yeah,
That's a
right.
good event, too. We went
okay.
last year. It's good.
Yeah, Mark stole your thunder.
All right. So, moving along, I think if I may have some latitude here, I'd like to do the fire agreement first. Sure. Okay.
Very
Can
exciting.
Chief Shapiro and Chief McDonald, can you guys come up to the podium, please? There's no photo ops here, so not this time. In September, it will be. I just wanted to, I know we brought, you have everybody here. I want to congratulate us, the township, and the fire companies. For one, we have a new agreement. It was fairly easy to get through. You know, we worked together, and congratulations on that. We're looking forward to working with you guys. And I do want to announce, we will be having when we hire a few firefighters, but I know Chris and Mitch, you and myself have had a lot of dialogue over this.
Oh, yeah.
And some of it a little heated, some of it not. And but one thing we always had in common was that I knew that public safety came first, and I knew the problem that we had during the day, and I just had to get the finances in order. Well, the board had to get the finances in order and find a way to pay for it. But I do want to announce that we are well on our way. I think Joe Velton's vetting things right now. We are going to hire the 3 firefighters to cover the daytime shifts. So I want to congratulate yourself and myself and the board for coming to that agreement. We knew it had to happen, and we can pay for it. So congratulations.
I wanted to thank everyone. Firstly, I wanted to thank Chris and Eric from Hartsfield. You know, we've been on this roller coaster for 5 years now, 6 years, trying to get to this point.
You told me it was longer than that at one
Well,
point.
this current one, since we did the last study and everything else to get to here.
Right.
And it goes back before that, but we failed miserably the other times. So it's nice. I mean, while we are taking a victory lap, remember it is just one lap. We still have a long way to go to get to that minimum staffing. And
Yes.
And I'm really glad to hear, since we're doing 90%, we could probably in the future look to budget that additional firefighter.
You know my position, Mitch. If we
I
can
do,
afford
I
it,
do.
we'll do it.
I think we're on the same page for moving forward, and I'm
Yes.
really looking forward to working with everybody and working with Joe to get this moving, and Chris. And I can't be remiss, I got to say one little shout out. My wife was put up with me for 35 years on Monday. We've been together 39, and I've been in the fire department 30, almost 36. So I don't know that she was in for all this when she said, "Oh yeah, join the fire department."
Yeah.
So I got to thank her. She heard all the complaining and, we'll say, bitching as this whole process worked out. She was the vetting board. So
Yeah.
thank you, everyone. I think we have a good future ahead of us.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
thrilled.
we'll,
Yeah.
I'm thrilled we could do it. I'm thrilled we can afford it and pay for it. And and you're right. It is. We know that we have a little more to go.
Yeah, as we were saying, like, Joe's working through the process now. We have the candidates. After we screen them out, they're going to all go through a physical agility type. Well, they'll go through a written test first. Once they pass that, they'll next go into a physical agility test, and the hiring committee will meet with them, do the interviews, and pick the best candidates to support the Warminster Fire Department. And they'll be here for, we haven't decided on the time, either that's 7 to 3, 8 to 4, some sort of timetable, when it's most needed in the township. But like we always say, 4 is minimum manning, so we're going to still count on the volunteers, hopefully, to show up when they can and get that extra person on the truck to keep it going.
Absolutely. And I want to thank all the volunteers here as well for all their service. You guys are great.
Yes.
I can smile over there.
I just like to say, Mitch, I love your passion, and I'm sure your wife sees how passionate you really are about this. I know
probably has
Chris
other
is
names
too,
for it, but
but
okay.
see,
Yeah.
Chris is like the wind beneath your wings. You know what I mean? He just stays real calm, right, Chris? Seriously. But you both do a wonder. I know how much you care about this township, and thank you. It was a pleasure working with you guys, and we're glad that we're able to do it.
All yours.
Well, wait, Mitch, before you go, Mr. Chairman, we are going to get some photos in September.
Oh, absolutely.
So I'd really
Absolutely.
like a picture of you and
Just for
Mitch
the
for my
record,
wall of fame in
these
my
guys
basement.
came-
I'd like a picture of you and Mitch. Whoever's taking the
That's
pictures
right.
for my wall of fame.
Handshake, right?
Well, I will gladly come up there, but these guys are here because they were promised cake. The last meeting. You don't think they
You
came
did.
to support me?
Okay. You
I don't
did
remember- I don't
you
remember
promised
promising
them
cake,
cake.
but,
I'm expecting a
and-
young
All right, we're
one
going to have to
anytime
go
now.
out.
And
We're
Mitch, I will hold them to making
Chris,
sure we
thanks.
can hire another one.
Thanks, Mitch.
Listen, when we hire the firefighters, we'll definitely we'll have more than cake for a celebration.
Yes.
Sorry, guys, I didn't know that I promised that. Evidently, Janice is the only one that heard it. I wonder if it was me that said that. That might have been you. Yeah.
I thought you were in there baking one.
So anyway, that's quite a milestone that we've accomplished here because, as Mitch and Chris has said, this has been going on for a long time. And, the first thing we had to do to make it happen was, yes, we had to get rid of all the structural deficit and all the red ink that we inherited. So we were able to do that. And I always told the firefighters that when we can afford it and it's done in a reasonable way without spending money we don't have, I would move forward with it. So I'm thrilled that we're able to do that now. So congratulations, everyone, and to the residents, because now we have coverage during the day. I mean, we had coverage. These guys do a fantastic job, but it was hard to do, and if it broke down, we would have had problems, and we knew that. So we were able to do that. So thanks again. All right, moving right along. We'll turn the floor over to Chief Donnelly.
Good evening, Chief Donnelly. I have two people to present for promotion. I'll give you a little brief on both, especially for the first one, because if I gave you his entire resume, even just professional, we would be here all night long. So the first person is Officer Chris O'Neill, will be promoted to lieutenant. Chris is a 21.
O'Neill?
Not O'Neill. McCole. Didn't I say McCole? I got O'Neill on the mind for some reason. I don't know. But Officer Chris McCole is a. I was talking.
All right,
to Chris
we'll rewind
earlier,
that
so,
tape.
now I'm all flustered, which is rare. Chris is a 21-year vet in the Warminster Police Department. He is a second-generation cop and comes from a police family. His father was a police veteran from Philadelphia Police, and his brother's currently a police officer in Chester County. He's currently a member of the Central Bucks County Special Response Team, where he holds second position as a team leader for that team. He has a Bachelor's of Science degree from Public Safety Administration from Newman University. He is our primary weapons and tactics instructor from the department, and when I tell you he is one of the key reasons how we shape and form our younger police officers and how we move forward and train our officers to be one of the best police departments in this county. Chris is one of the primary reasons, and he's not only recognized in Warminster, he's recognized through the 5 county. He's trained all through Bucks, all through Monco, all through Chester, all through Delco. He works closely with the Philadelphia Police Department in training and giving the Philadelphia SWAT ideas on how to do things and how to upgrade. He is truly a motivator and a game changer for the department. Previously employed with the Philadelphia Housing Authority, where he held the rank of police officer, detective, and sergeant, where he was there for 13 years. He's a veteran of the Pennsylvania Army National Guard, and he is currently married for 25 years to his wife Janine, and they have 4 children, Erin, Katie, Christopher, and Emma. So with that, I would like to bring and present to you Officer Chris McCole.
You're hot. You got a hot mic here.
I got a hot mic.
Yes, you do.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Chairman. Here's the Bible. Good evening, everyone. Usually, when I come here, it's to welcome somebody, as I, did like the last 4 times I was here, swore in some of our new officers. Tonight is a celebration, okay, and it's a celebration of veteran police officers who are moving up the ladder, and Warminster is fortunate that that's happening. Okay, I've known Chris McCole for many years, appearing in my court, will be very respectful and very good officer and a consummate professional. And now he's moving up to the lieutenant, which is a great spot for him to be in at this point, and I wish him well. And I guess we'll have to swear you. Now, tell us who is going to hold the Bible for you, Chris.
This is my son, Chris Jr., 17 years of age.
Okay, he's a student.
Student at Roman Catholic High School.
Roman Catholic, there you go. Okay. All right. Raise your right hand, put your left in the Bible. Lieutenant Designee McCall, are you prepared to take the oath of office?
I am, Your Honor.
Okay. Repeat after me, please. I, Christopher McCall,
I, Christopher McCall,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I support, obey, and defend
that I will support, defend, and obey
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and I will discharge the duties
and I will discharge the duties
of lieutenant in Warminster Township,
of Lieutenant of Warminster Township,
Bucks County,
Bucks County,
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
I also solemnly swear
I also solemnly swear
that I will uphold, obey, and enforce
I also will uphold, defend, and enforce
the laws of Pennsylvania
the laws of Pennsylvania
without consideration of a person's race,
without consideration for the person's race,
color, sex, religious creed,
color, sex, religious creed,
sexual orientation,
sexual orientation,
age, national origin,
age, national origin,
ancestry, handicap, or disability, excuse me.
ancestry, handicap, or disability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Very well deserved, officer.
Congratulations, Lieutenant.
Thank you.
Yeah, when the
Thanks. All right. Next, I get the, again, the privilege to present another fine and outstanding officer, Corporal Kevin McLaughlin. Kevin McLaughlin was one of our own that I was on the oral board for him back in '08 when we had the privilege and the opportunity to hire Kevin and send Kevin to the Montgomery County Police Academy. Kevin has done well here over his last 15 years as a police officer, and particularly the last year and a half is a corporal in the C Squad. Kevin is a graduate of LaSalle High School, LaSalle University in a criminal justice degree. He's a graduate of Southern New Hampshire University with a master's degree in cybersecurity. He is married to his wife, Kate, and he's father to Ito, Claire, Anthony, and Jack, his 4 children. He is a former highway safety unit officer when we had a consolidated highway safety unit. He is a former FTO. He is currently the member of the drone team and is one of the driving forces behind us having drones. He wrote the proposal, he searched and went out and found the money for it, and was one of our first officers trained in drones. He is also an OC instructor, and he will soon to be a defensive tactics instructor. And with that, I would like to present soon to be Sergeant Kevin McLaughlin.
And who's this young gentleman?
My son, Ito.
Ida, okay. You got a couple of hours when you make the call. I think they think you're handsome.
He
Okay.
is.
Okay. So again, celebrating soon-to-be Sergeant McLaughlin's promotion. He's been there, the whole tenure. I've gotten to see him the whole time, and I've gotten to see him grow as a police officer, sitting up on the bench, very conscientious, very smart, okay, and very efficient. And, I wish him well in his new endeavor. So raise your right hand, put your left hand on the Bible, okay, and repeat after me. And are you prepared to take the oath of the office?
I am.
Okay. I, Kevin McLaughlin,
I, Kevin McLaughlin,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I support, obey, and defend
that I support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and I will discharge the duties
and I will discharge the duties
of Sergeant in Warminster Township,
of Sergeant in Warminster Township,
Bucks County with fidelity.
Bucks County with fidelity.
I also solemnly swear
I also solemnly swear
that I will uphold, obey, and enforce
that I will uphold, obey, and enforce
the laws of Pennsylvania
the laws of Pennsylvania
without consideration
without
to
consideration
a person's race, color, sex,
to a person's race, color, sex,
religious creed, sexual orientation,
religious creed, sexual orientation,
age, national origin, ancestry,
age, national origin, ancestry,
handicap, or disability.
handicap, or disability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Sergeant.
Kevin, congratulations.
Very well deserved.
I like your socks.
And I know, I know we're going to do something in a minute, but I want to congratulate
Great job,
Sergeant
dude.
You did
Battistini
good.
for all her years of service too. Okay, she said to me, I love the $1 million bails that you gave me on some of my cases, and I said that's because you used to arrest all the weirdos. So with that, good night. Have a nice rest of your summer, and we'll see you the next time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Enjoy your summer.
Thank you. Thanks, Judge.
Honor, I'll see you in the Wildwoods. See you in the Wildwoods.
All right. We do have one more celebratory announcement. Chief, you want to come up?
Hello.
Hello.
Oh,
How
I'm
could you
really not,
forget
I'm
this?
really not the speaker on this. So I would like to present House Representative Brian Monroe for a presentation to one of our retirees. Sergeant Carol Battistini did 27 years with the Warminster Police Department. I believe she started before that as a civilian and a single mother, raising 2 daughters. She was pretty much the first of everything as a female in Warminster Police. First undercover, first corporal, first sergeant, first SRO. She was in DARE. You name it, Carol's done it, and particularly as a female officer in Warminster Police. So we're sorry to see her leave. She has a great opportunity to move to Houston with her husband, so she came in and retired. But I'd like to ask Mr. Monroe to come on up, and he can read the citation and present to retired Sergeant Foudry. I'm sorry. I keep saying her maiden name, so I apologize. I'm full of it tonight.
Thank you, everybody. Hello, it's good to see you again. And it's good to be back in the district. As you know, I've been in Harrisburg. June is budget month, and the budget month turned into July, so I've been gone for about a month, a little over a month. So it's very good to be back and to be back in the community and celebrating huge milestones like this. I mean, this is a fantastic example, seeing all of these faces in this audience about the milestones that we all celebrate. So obviously, new hires was not necessarily tonight, although you will be having them on the fireside, is obviously a huge milestone. Promotions are a huge milestone, and you know the one thing that, and I know that you guys also recognize, so I want to commend you for recognizing this as well, that retirement is a huge milestone, and especially for police officers. You know, I was a cop once, and I retired, and you think it's all rosy because, you know, you've got this persona. When you get hired as a police officer or a firefighter, you're not just entering a new job, you're entering a brotherhood and a sisterhood. And the one thing that I think that we kind of take for granted is when we go into a retirement, especially for cops, you know, we forget that, you know, it's kind of like leaving that persona behind. And I'm here to remind everybody that you do not. You don't leave that behind. So I would love to call up Sergeant Fowler. Sergeant? Before I turn it over to you, because I do want you to say, you probably weren't aware, you got to say something. I do want to go over, so some of the firsts that the chief had talked about, but I do want to say that you, if that's in your mind, that you think that you're passing off that badge and you're no longer a cop, you will always be a police officer in all of our minds. So thank you very much for your service. Most of it's in the citation, so I'll just get right to that. And I am going to read it all because there is so much. Whereas the House of Representatives of Pennsylvania takes great pleasure in recognizing those citizens who selflessly devote their lives to ensuring the safety of the residents of their communities and ultimately of all of the people of this great Commonwealth. Whereas Sergeant Carol Faudry, am I saying that correctly? Yes. Faudry, is being honored upon her June 30th, 2023 retirement after nearly 27 years of dedicated and distinguished service to the Warminster Township Police Department, and hired by the Warminster Township Police Department on August 9th, 1996. Sergeant Faudry has served in a variety of capacities, including undercover narcotics officer, DARE instructor at 3 area middle schools, school resource officer at William Tennant High School, field training officer, accreditation manager, Pennsylvania Law Enforcement Accreditation Program assessor, juvenile officer and investigator, negotiator and team leader for the Central Bucks County Special Response Team, and B Squad Patrol Supervisor. To her great credit, she is also lauded as the first female officer in the history of the department to attain the rank of corporal and sergeant. Sergeant Faudry faithfully displayed great loyalty, commitment, and professionalism in the performance of her duties as a member of the Warminster Township Police Department. Since her enlistment, she served with consummate skill, upheld the law of this great Commonwealth, and served as a role model for all of those who aspire to a career in law enforcement. Now, therefore, the House of Representatives of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania pays a respectful tribute to Sergeant Carol Faudry upon her richly deserved retirement, notes with pride and gratitude her record of service, which far exceeds those standards normally described as exemplary. Offers best wishes to for very future success and happiness, and directs this copy of the citation sponsored by Honorable Brian Monroe, June 28th, 2023, to be transmitted to Sergeant Carol Faudry. Congratulations.
Well, I'd like to thank you. It's truly an honor to receive this. I wasn't expecting to get something like this. And I just would like to say it's been an honor to serve all of the residents of Warminster and to work with all the members of the Warminster Police Department. You have a superb police department here. Thank you very much.
It's just something that I started recently because I know Congressman Fitzpatrick will probably be right behind me at some point with an American flag. What I like to do is I like to have a Commonwealth flag flown over Harrisburg's, our capital in Harrisburg, in your honor. So I did that as well. I have the flag box here, and it just says to you, and I'm honored to present you with our Commonwealth's beloved flag, which was flown over the Capitol at Harrisburg on the 30th day of June 2023. So that is for you as well. And she thought she was going to get away without any of this. So that is the testament to police officers and everyone that serves in emergency response, that they don't do it for this, right? They do it because they want to serve their community. So thank you very much. So we do pictures.
So
now,
we do
or-
pictures?
Yeah, well, we're going to take a short recess. I just want to say that you think it's hot in Warminster.
Yeah,
Wait till you
right.
go to Houston.
Houston, yes.
I've done some work down there, and it is hot. Yeah, but congratulations. I'm always thrilled to see people reach their retirement and enjoy retired life and whatever endeavors you choose after that. It's been a pleasure to have you serve on the Warminster Police Department.
Thank you very much.
You're quite welcome.
Thank you. You're well deserved.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a short recess for photos with the promotions, and maybe Mitch and I will have, and Chris will have a photo.
They're rolling.
Yes, I got it. Okay.
All right, welcome back. Again, if I may have a little latitude here from the board, before we get into the WCP presentation, I do have one more proclamation that I'd like to read, and this is for the VE Club. You guys, I believe, why don't you come on up? Please introduce yourselves to the
Hi,
public.
I'm Steve Foichter, Vice President of the Arts Cooper Club.
And I'm Mark Torneski, I'm on the board there.
Okay, awesome. You guys are going to Germany next month, correct?
Yes,
Okay, so is this going with you?
absolutely.
All right.
And I get to carry it, right?
All right, so I'd like to read this, this proclamation. So whereas we, the Board of Supervisors of Warminster Township, Bucks County, Pennsylvania, congratulate the town of Aue, Germany, on their 850th anniversary. Wow. A lot of history there. And whereas Aue, Germany was founded on May 7th, 1173.
Wow.
Whereas Warminster Township and Aue,
Yes.
Germany, share a connection through the very, I always mess
Just say
this up.
VE.
VE, yes. I've been messing that up for years. But the VE Club, which was founded by German immigrants from the Erzgebirge region of eastern Germany in 1931. And whereas in August 2023, individuals from Warminster, Pennsylvania, and the VE Club will visit Aue, Germany to celebrate their 850th anniversary. And now therefore be it resolved on this 13th day of July, 2023, the Warminster Township Board of Supervisors and the entire Warminster community honor and congratulate Aue, Germany on their 850th anniversary. Great, you guys. All right.
Thank you very much. I think they're having a 3-day festival that weekend. Almost 200,000 people are attending, and now I have to translate that into German.
Oh, nice. Nice. Don't use Google because it doesn't work.
We're gonna give them guys a little swag to take with them. We got some Park and Rec stuff. We got some swag.
absolutely.
Yeah, let's give some
Give them a little
stuff.
swag package to take with them. Well, you don't have to give it to them right now. They're not gone for a while, but we can put a little package together for them to take to Germany
Jess.
with them.
Yeah.
Right?
Come on up. Let's get a picture of this, if I may.
Mark Rolls. Jess.
Make sure your signature got it. We signed it before the meeting. She's in the office.
All right, does any of the board want to come up?
Is that
I
signed?
would
Is that
like to,
is that
I
signed
guess.
by all the members?
Signed by Janice did not sign it.
There you go.
Ken, I would love to.
Yeah, come on up.
Okay.
All right, let's get a picture with the photo.
Get up there.
Hey, Jude. All right. At least once in the meeting.
Thank you. Safe travels.
We understand that American Consulate's going to be joining us there, and the town's putting us up for 3 nights in a hotel. all the
that's nice.
meals are taken care of. So yeah, it's a big honor for us, and we promote these cultural and social exchanges with them. We just had a girls soccer team return from Germany on Sunday. I have a team going next summer, so that's an old tradition we've had there. But a lot of local kids from Tennant and Wood, they travel with us to Germany. So
city.
it's a lot of
And
fun.
then they come here
And then
too. That's been going on for how many years
Since
now?
the 60s, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
That's
Just
awesome.
nice, that little cultural exchange.
yeah, but
People get to
definitely,
know one another.
They'll be happy with this. Thank you.
Yeah,
very much.
great. I appreciate it.
Before you go,
Thank
do a quick commercial for Sports Fest too. Well, you might as well while you're here.
Sure, sure.
It's one of my favorite days of the year.
September 9th, make sure you come out.
We'll be
Okay.
there.
11 to 10.
The annual
Awesome.
Oktoberfest at the VE Club.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oktoberfest is in September?
Yes,
Oh, yes.
only at the VE. All right, they're ahead.
Okay.
Way ahead of their time.
Jess, I think you're up. Is this for us or?
Yeah, we keep a copy of each one.
It is not really fair to follow all of that. Fun and joy. I'd like to introduce you all to Will Hemler, who is here today from GenRec. He's worked really hard with us on this design to bring to life all of the things that we envisioned for this playground. So I hope you like it, and please welcome Will.
All right, Will.
All right. Okay, so it's not clicking, John.
John.
What happened?
John, go, if you could go ahead
What
and
happened?
click that,
John.
thank you.
Absolutely.
John, could you move the flag?
Oh, yes.
Oh, thank you. I'd like to see it.
Our vision's blocked.
Okay, so we're going to start with our existing conditions. Warminster Community Park was built 20 years ago this year. October of 2003 was the grand opening of Warminster Community Park. And this playground was built at the same time, as you can see. So sometimes we can push playgrounds 20 years, a little bit past, and still have them be safe and operational. This one has so much use and has so much exposure to the elements that it is time that we move on from it. So that being said, we'll move on to our next slide. We had some design goals, and I'll go through this very quickly. Don't worry, I'm not going to read it all. The two big things that we were looking for was, or three things mainly, was honoring the town's history and the park's history, keeping that design or that history in mind when we created the design. The capacity, it's a heavily used playground. We have large events, there's a lot going on there, and it's everyone's favorite place to be in town. So those two things were very important. And the style and the unique design of the playground, I think you guys are gonna love. But our biggest consideration was inclusion. We used to build playgrounds, John, you can move on to the next one. When we used to build playgrounds 20 years ago, Will can tell you, inclusion meant having some wheelchair ramps, different things like that. It's very different now. So there are many different things that we're considering when building an inclusive playground now, and we've actually done away with the ramps in most situations and added a lot more just right challenges for each individual. So this is all in your packet as well. There's a full inclusion report that you all can look at your leisure. So on the next slide, this is the overlay. So you can see where the existing playground was built. It looked like a rocket ship, and that was the idea back then, was to create this rocket ship playground. And so we're going to use that entire use zone plus some and create a little bit bigger space, but everything's going to be a little bit more spread out to allow for more people. Next slide, John. Okay, so this is our overall front entry view. You can see coming in here, this is to the right down at the bottom is where Safety Town is, just to give you a reference. And then the basketball courts would be over to the left at the bottom. So that's our main entrance point. At the main entrance point, we already start with our inclusive stuff. We have a rocker bench there. We have a communication board, and it goes right into poured-in-place matting. So the surfacing is a combination of poured-in-place matting and the traditional wood chips that you see in a lot of playgrounds. Okay, and as you can see, this is the back side. So we're gonna, that asphalt spot that you're seeing right there, that's gonna be covered in ground games, things like old traditional playground, schoolyard playground, hopscotch, foursquare, that kind of stuff. And then you can see our one of our two main features. The one in the center is sort of our carousel design. That thing spins around, which you'll see in a minute. And then we have also our, if you can just start that. This is our zip line over here that has an inclusive seat and a regular seat. So it's a double zip line that runs along the side. It's a really fun feature, right? Yeah. So that's really fun. It has the inclusive. There'll be a wheelchair transfer site there as well. Wow. Okay, so we can move on to our next slide. Like I said, I'm going to move through this pretty quickly. So if you have any questions, just stop me along the way. Okay, so this is another close-up image of the entrance. And to the left, you'll see the Hedra climber. It's a little different than any climber I'm sure you've ever seen. It's pretty new to us, too. If you move on to the next slide, John, I believe we have, yep, up at the top right, you can see a very similar structure. It's not the exact same structure, but if you press play on that, you can see sort of the different options that kids have to play within that structure. There are wheelchair transfer areas, a lot of different styles within the playground, and things that you wouldn't expect. So children of all abilities can use this. It does look like a playground where someone who uses a wheelchair would struggle, but there's a lot of different options on there. Children with crutches, children with wheelchairs, etc. It's made for everyone. All right. And this one is our We Go Round, which is probably our favorite part of the whole playground. It's at the center. It kind of gives you that carousel vibe. John, you can press play on the top right. This is the center of the playground. And if you've ever been on the teacups in Walt Disney World, it's very similar to that. So you can spin it from the outside. It has a turner in the middle that you can spin. It has regular seating, and it also has spaces for wheelchairs to sit in there as well.
Cool.
Wow.
So that's kind of a fun feature. And Will assures me that it is not a maintenance nightmare, which was my #1 concern.
All right.
So he has those in different places, and they're working out quite well, even at high capacity.
You know you're blowing us away so far.
Do you love it?
Yeah.
I
love it.
Great.
It really brings me a lot of joy. And Pat Boyle is here from our Park Advisory Committee. They loved it too. So I'm really excited about it. Okay, John, we can move on to the next slide. So you'll see here, it's they're a little smaller than I anticipated. Down in the bottom left, there's a bunch of musical features. So it's great, different sensory, children with vision impairment. And at the top right, we have a sort of new age seesaw.
I like that.
It's called the Wee Saw, and it is really very cool. So it also has a wheelchair transfer zone as well. Bottom left, you'll see sort of a view from one side where some of our 2 to 5-year-old equipment is located. So if we move on to the next one, we should see that a little better. Okay, so John, you can press play on that. That's the Cozy Dome. The Cozy Dome's great because it's a climber, but also it's a great place for quiet and retreat when a child is having too much stimulation in a playground. Another really great inclusive feature. And then there's these freestanding areas down here, and our 2 to 5 climber you can see right in the center there, so that it has a separate 2 to 5-year-old area. All of these different features are built on purpose, and the design is very purposeful. It also allows, in this park, because there are so many people there, for everyone to kind of spread out and still have something to do. Okay, we can move on to the next one. Okay, so in your packets, and anyone from the public who wants to request some of these renderings, we're happy to share them with anyone who wants to see them. We also have a plan, the inclusion report that is included in your packet. We're going to share with the Bucks County IU and different organizations that serve kids with special needs. Our estimated timeline on this project, we need to get this equipment ordered by August to stay on time. So August is our equipment ordering. We have promised everyone who has rented a pavilion through October 15th that they will have a playground. So we will not be taking the existing playground out until October 15th. At that time, we'll begin our site prep for installation. There's a lot of site prep work that needs to be done. So we'll do some of that and get that ready until it gets too cold out. and then we'll wait a bit. And then in spring 2023, we'll have installation and grand opening, hopefully.
You mean 2020,
Or
2024?
2024, oh.
That's it, that's all right. We figured it out.
Thank you.
Going back in time.
Going backwards.
I feel younger already.
Did you know I was a time traveler?
Thank
So,
you.
after I'm done time traveling and I come back, we'll be in spring of 2024. And hopefully April 2024, we'll have a beautiful grand opening and invite the public out
Wonderful.
to
Yes.
do
Wonderful.
this. So since all this work was done at WCP, we feel like it's, well, not only is the playground in need of upgrading, but it'll go right along with everything else that we're doing, and hopefully camera installation and everything will be nice and fun at Warminster Community Park. So if we can move to the next slide, that is just our budget, which is also included in your packet.
How did you know that we were looking for that?
Just so everyone can see, everything is in your packet. Now, we are under we had discussed $350,000 as our budget for this project. It sounds like a lot of money, but when you're building a large playground, it really goes very quickly, especially when we're doing some of the spots important place matting, which is wheelchair and crutches friendly.
I was gonna ask you.
Yeah,
is
so
a
the
certain
wood
kind of
chips-
material for those?
Yeah, so
Okay.
the wood chips are also ADA accessible,
Right.
but the port and place matting is ADA very friendly,
Okay.
super friendly. So we're gonna have that to most of our elements in the park, anywhere where we have a wheelchair transfer, so you're gonna see that throughout. So this, Will was able to really kind of magic this for us. We had a lot of demands. It does include some assistance from General Recreation to install some elements. The Hedra climber is very complicated. We have an awesome CPSI. Our park superintendent, Mike Cummings, is amazing. He'll get most of this stuff installed, but we want to make sure that the big complicated elements are done right.
Yep.
So the center, our spinner, and the Hedra will be done with the assistance of General Recreation. And I've worked with Will for a long time. In fact, he did our skate park here. And so we have some things that we can't order anymore, and he's still making it happen. So he had some things done in his shop recently, and since Mike has been out, is generously assisting us with some install above and beyond what he needs to do. So
I love the uniqueness of the entire thing.
It's really
You don't
cool, right?
see the type of equipment, and even like the seesaws, back in the day, if the one kid got off, the other one would go, okay?
Yeah, I fell off one.
Right, so you don't see them anymore. And I'm like, that's really nice. I like the spinner. All of everything is so unique. I take my grandkids to the one that's there.
yes.
They're gonna flip out when they see this one. So thank you for all your innovation, Jess, for being able to stay within budget. We love it.
Yes, you can thank Will for that. We did have a lot of requests, and we wanted to combine traditional elements and bring it into the future. There aren't
Yes.
a lot of playgrounds around in the county that are going to look like this. So
I don't know any.
And once
It's-
again, Warminster Community Park is going to be the showcase for Bucks
Yeah.
County.
That's right.
It's a really special place already, and this is
Yep.
going to make it even better.
That's
So
right.
we're very excited
Well,
about
I
it.
just want to say I love all the sensory issues in here
Yes.
that are taken care of, because there's like 1 in 50 kids now are on the autism spectrum someplace, and I think that's really important.
Yes, and
Really.
your inclusion report goes into that. They put together a really great inclusion report
Yeah,
for
I
us.
saw it. I saw
Yeah,
it,
so Will and his team put that together for us so that we could demonstrate our commitment and also share with occupational therapists and physical therapists and or people who are working with children with special needs, and show them that they can continue their work with those children and also play at the same time. So it should be pretty awesome.
Yeah,
Yes.
exciting.
Yes.
I'm very involved with Ireland, and how
She has to come you have to come up to the podium, please.
Yes.
because
And please, give us your name, please.
I'm Carolyn Rossner. I'm very concerned about fires now because I had a fire. And I noticed that when my daughter's a librarian, and she says when people drive through the library, to drop off their books, they sometimes throw the cigarette down on the ground. And she has to go out and put a fire out. I spoke to the bank person, and she said she has the same problem when people drive through. it's a problem. How do you prevent people? And when I go through Kemper Park, because I walk through there, I talk to
No smoking in our parks.
and I see people smoking. And it's, how do you prevent that? I'm an occupational therapist, so I think it's fabulous.
Great. Yeah, we do have an ordinance
Go ahead,
against
Jess.
smoking. We do have an ordinance against smoking in our facilities. Our staff will address it if they see someone, generally not in an enforcement way, but in an encouraging way. We do that as well in the park, but we do have an ordinance against it. Unfortunately, we it's very difficult to patrol everywhere at all times, but we do have an ordinance, and we do have signage and the like. Yeah. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you.
Jess, it's fantastic. Nice design, very modern. It's nice to see upgrades rather than letting things just deteriorate to the point where they're not usable. And keep up the great work. You're doing a fantastic job. We're thrilled to have you here. Really are.
We're very thrilled.
I'm thrilled to be here.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Does anyone have any questions for Will while he's here?
I just want to say thank you.
Thank you, Will.
Great job.
And Mike does do a great job.
Thank you as well.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to actually see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't wait.
Well,
Can't
when
wait.
Jess came to me about designing too, I was like, well, I can't disappoint. What is the best pieces that do everything? Is that going to fit? How am I going to make it fit? That's great. And so we really dialed in. Pretty nice. I'm really proud of this because, lots of people spend, lots of municipalities spend double, triple on an inclusive playground than this budget. And still don't get the impact I think this has because of just the way designs happen to go. And I think
Well, we have 244 acres over there, so I have a
Yes.
feeling we'll have you back again. I have a feeling we'll be seeing you again in the future.
This is going to be the
Right.
Big Bang Project, yes.
Yeah. It's
He
great.
has all the experience.
And if you go on it 10 times, you lose 10 years, right?
That's right. Awesome. Well,
Thank
thanks.
you.
Thank you very much. Great design.
Yeah.
It's exciting to see that. We can't wait to see it finished.
I'm really glad you like it. I was very nervous.
Yeah.
Love it.
No, it's great.
Awesome. I think I have one more agenda item.
Yes.
Okay. So, we have block parties here in Warminster Township, and currently we have an online form that gets filled out. I would like to propose sort of formalizing that process a little better. We currently don't really have an official permitting process, and everyone's been doing a great job at getting the barricade out and receiving these requests. But I'd like to see, with your approval, a bit of a more formal process where we're actually issuing a permit to people who are having block parties. I think that the way that it's been done has worked fine. Everyone has done a wonderful job. We've had no accidents, incidents, near misses as far as I know. So congratulations everyone for getting it done. But I do think that we should put together some rules and regulations and a bit of a more formal permitting process. So we can do that through our MyRec portal, where we're currently doing field permits, pavilion permits, and the like. So in order to do that, we need to put together some rules and regulations. You all have in front of you, you have a memo in your packet that is sort of a basic memo. I was able to put together some block party rules and regulations with the help of Scott at Mr. Flager's office. So we talked a lot about it. So one of the big changes would be putting those permits through MyRec, actually having a physical permit for people having a block party. And then the other thing is requiring them to pay a non-refundable application fee of $25 to cover some of the administrative costs. Also, our Public Works Department delivers barricade and picks them up. So that small nominal fee will go a long way to assist us with our software costs and our labor costs associated with block party requests. The other thing that we're not requiring right now, and I did talk to Scott about this as well, is requiring a general liability policy. So when someone has an event in the park or on our property, we do require that, and it would be an extension of that type of permit. So those are my requests. at this time.
I never realized that we didn't have a formal permit for a block party to begin with. I never realized that till I saw this in my packet today.
Yeah, so there's a form on the website,
Right.
it comes through, and then we all get that email, and then Parks and Rec reminds Public Works to deliver barricade, and like I said, it's been going fine, there has not been an issue.
Going forward, we definitely need a formal
But
permit.
I
Well,
just
yeah,
like the
absolutely.
idea
I mean,
of
$25
doing
is
that.
a nominal fee for have our people drop off and pick up barricades. It's more than $25 just to have them do that.
Exactly.
And plus the administrative,
And memorialize it to permit form.
Yes.
Absolutely.
yes.
Yes, okay.
Good job.
There's no action to be done right now, this moment?
No, I'll just continue to work with Scott on the actual documents
Yes.
and the waivers and the insurance requirements
Yes,
from here.
that'd be fine. And I
Okay.
think, I agree with Mark and the board that this needs to be formalized. Yes.
It will go through police, public works, emergency management.
Okay.
Will there be noise requirements too on one such permit? 'Cause
Well, we have a noise ordinance.
Reminder
this would
on the
be
permit?
This would be a special permit.
Right.
So my proposed, rules and regulations have them ending at 10 o'clock. That, of
Right.
course, is
Yeah, and
not
then
my
it
decision to
says here
make, but
that
that's.
music and such has to be at tolerable levels.
Yeah. Right.
So that's subjective.
So this certainly can change. This is just a draft suggestion. Anything that you see in there, let me know. And obviously, I'll work with our solicitor to make sure that we're above.
They're having one down the street from me. I want to just know what time I should be home before the neighbors start calling. Know what time for me to
Just
go.
to disappear? so
Time
you
for
can
me to
just
go.
Take the phone call and
Right.
not get a
Right,
verbal?
goodbye. Oh, I will. It's right up the street. I'm not running it. It's down the bottom of my street.
Okay, thank
Toro
you
will be
to
there.
the board
Thanks,
for your
Jess.
time.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Jess.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Wonderful job.
Great job.
Great job. Great presentation. We're excited.
Thanks.
All right.
Very good.
Very nice.
Yes.
Thanks, Jess.
It's not for you, Ramey.
You guys are bad.
All right, let's go to land use matters. Bucks County Industrial Development Authority, 670 Lewis Drive, waiver of land development application.
I'll
Go ahead,
take
Mr.
that.
Bennett.
I'm not sure if the applicant is here or not. I know.
He's here.
Okay. I'll go over it if there's any question. I think the applicant can answer. The engineer emailed me today. They have emailed Randy's office. They have no issues with the resolution. In front of you, it's a very small project for Bucks County Industrial Development Authority. It's located at 670 Lewis Drive. The applicant received approval from the zoning hearing board back in 2021, received approval from the planning commission back in February of this year, had some issues to work out with our office. They're proposing no buildings, no additional structures, just a parking lot expansion, and then 3 small stormwater facilities. So the bulk of the review back and forth was related to stormwater and grading and the parking layout. They have addressed all the issues. We're down to a very short letter that our office issued on June 27th. Fire marshal has no issues. They're both referenced in the resolution that I think Randy will reference in a couple of minutes. I have no other comments and support this project for a waiver of land development, and I'll turn it over to Randy.
Can I just ask Craig a question real quick?
Yes.
Yes, I was looking at number 1, 22-406, about the impervious surface, and
Yes.
that they're going to do a breakdown and should be provided.
Yes.
How soon will we get that?
Well, they actually, part of their reason for going to the zoning hearing board is they already were above the impervious coverage. They got about 4% increase. They got that variance, and we just need a specific breakdown of that. That'll be, when they submit the revised plans before any permits are issued, they'll present that to us.
Just
So-
wanted to know about, because I know we're
Yeah.
really trying to cut back on our impervious surfaces.
Yeah, and that's more of a plan issue. It's just
Okay.
presentation-wise.
All right.
So,
Thank you.
even though they're above, they've also put in some stormwater management as
Yes,
well?
three underground seepage pits in the parking lot.
Excellent.
So that was something we worked out with their engineer, and that, again, that's why there's partly a delay from planning commission.
Right.
We wanted to make sure all issues were addressed before, this is something that goes on behind the scenes, but an applicant request for a waiver of land development, we need to make sure everything is addressed to our satisfaction before you see it. So that's what happened between February and now, and all issues are addressed except what's in that letter.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
And you're prepared, can you hear, is this on? You prepared to sign this today? We sent this to your, yes, okay. With that, I have no, board action is in order.
Okay.
And I believe the resolution is 2023-20 that you'll be, the motion will be on.
Okay.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any questions or comments from the board? Any questions or comments from the public? Okay, being none, let's call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you. Sign it, you can sign it.
Okay, public comment.
Bless you.
Bless you.
First of all, I want to say
All right, hold on, come on up first. Come on up first, and please, please, that's okay.
And the other thing is...
What's your name?
I'm Carolyn Rosner. My husband owned the eye care center 52 years ago. He opened it, unfortunately, died at a very young age. And I'm embarrassed because everyone was honored today, and now I'm talking about a problem. And I'm going to read it, and I spent a week writing it.
Please,
Right into the
please,
mic.
yeah, read it into the
The
mic. but
world is full of tragedy.
Hold
but
on
the-
1 second, please. It's a 3-minute, I'll give you some latitude, but please don't make it very lengthy. If you can read it quickly, that would be awesome.
Okay, I'll try to.
Great, thank you.
The world is full of tragedy, and the greatest tragedy comes when we have the opportunity to see, to act and fail to do so to prevent human suffering. This is further compounded when an elected or an appointed leader becomes aware of the problems in their communities and fail to provide a solution, potentially leading to harm. I am here before you today to provide the Board of Supervisors notice of danger, a dangerous condition that almost resulted in a tragedy and still might if you do not intervene. On June 8th, 2023, a fire started at the property at the Steak and Hoagie factory, located at 189 York Road, owned by David Christie, that doesn't matter. Contributing to the fire were dried old trees trunks that Mr. Christie used to line his parking lots. Over many years, it dried up, and the trees turned into powdered cake that only awaited a spark. Compounding the danger, Mr. Christie also maintains a grease pot for his grill, which is adjacent to the logs and directly bordering a property I own. I own 192 Evergreen, and I own 179 York Road. Thankfully, my tenants saw it in the fire department, who I love, because I had a major fire after my husband died, and I love the fire department. The family alerted the fire department. They came right away. However, I found out that the grease pot, no one's job. You know, I called, and they said to call the health department. It took me 2 hours to find the right person to talk to. They only told them to clean it once. I'm not a watchdog for a grease pot. There has to be an ordinance or something to change that. There is no ordinance at this time. You have the power to avoid such an outcome, because it could have been a major fire. It could have been the eye care center. It could be the house on 192 Evergreen. It could have been York Road. A person who inspects properties told me to contact the health department. I spent 2 hours. I told you that already. The logs still lie rotting, and the grease pot compounds a dangerous situation. I'm specifically recommending that you consider the following steps. Create a buffer from other properties and buildings for grease pots. Require the removal of rotting wood. Maintain safe distances between smoking areas and dangerous conditions like the grease pot. And address cigarette disposal locations. There's only one there. There should be like 3 or 4 of them, because people smoke everywhere, like I told you. My daughter's a librarian. People, drop it right before they go drop the book off. The eye care center, I saw someone walking in before they went into the eye care center. They throw their cigarettes on the ground. People, it's amazing. I'm like so conscious of it now. Mr. Chris took liberties is how he set up his property that created a dangerous condition. He also allowed a patio, it's on my property, but that doesn't matter. I just think something has to be done by you. Now that you have noticed and know you can prevent a future tragedy, I very much look forward to seeing action taken. Thank you for your time and the work that you do in creating a community that we all can take pride in, and I believe that, because Warminster has been very good to me, and it's been good, it's a wonderful community. And I've had so many responsibilities with the library. I'm an open mic night, and I'm a friend of the library. The tax collector, she called me, I told you that, which was amazing, because I didn't pay my taxes early like I always do, and she wanted to know what was wrong with me. I cried. Someone cares.
She does a nice job, yes.
And someone cares, and I think in our community right now, it's like, I call it NBC, nobody cares. It seems
Well,
to
that's
be.
not true. The
But
people
that's
sitting
not true.
right up here do
No,
care.
No, that's true too.
Yes,
But
thank
the
you.
world is having a nervous breakdown right now.
Yeah.
And it's like,
This is
it's not my job, it's not my job, it's not my
Right.
job. And it's passing the buck. And, you know, I understand everyone has jobs and everything like that, but something has to be done.
Yeah, well,
It's dangerous.
You can always email the township manager at townshipmanager.warminsterpa.org if there are violations. I'm sure there's ordinances
They
that
looked
deal.
it up, they said there's no ordinance for that oil pot. And they only come twice a year. Twice a year?
Well, there are rules and regulations for grease pots or
Are there?
grease
Then
grease
I'll look it
grease
up.
traps and other things. There are. Warminster may not have one particularly for that, but that may fall under the state guidelines. So when you have, if you have concerns, or the health department, yes, if you have concerns, then please notify the township manager and he will look into things.
Okay, I will
Okay?
definitely do that.
Well, what about the rotted trees in the parking lot? Would that come under something that we would look at? I mean, I understand, what are they using them for?
Well,
a
yeah,
buffer
I
to
mean,
pull
Al
up?
and I could take a look at that. I mean, but he used them as, like,
Fire inspector.
Well, he was smart at the time because he wanted a parking lot in the back, and he cut down the trees, and then he used those for car markers. But
Right.
now, you know, it's already, 15, 16 years ago, and,
Yeah.
and those, they're rotting.
Well,
And that's why I
we'll have a
questioned
look.
her at the park, because
We'll
I'm
have a
hyper
look at
about that.
everything.
Thank
We will
you
take
so
a look
much.
at
I
it.
really appreciate it.
Great.
But when I thought about it, I was a therapist in Warminster General. I mean, the list of things in Warminster, I think it's a wonderful town.
Yes, it is. It's a
Thank
great community and a wonderful place to live, you're
And
right.
a lot of good people, too.
Yes.
A lot
And
of-
there are a lot of people that care.
There are a lot of
Don't
people.
lose,
I'll
don't lose
tell you,
faith.
I wrote an article, now that I'm an open mic, I'll tell you this real fast. There was this woman, Alice, at the Warminster Diner, and I had just gone to Warminster General to get a blood test. And I was, you know, so I went to Warminster Diner, when Zoto was there. I don't know if you knew Zoto. He owned the diner at the time.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
You're
in a
all
while.
too young. I'm an
Yeah.
old lady. I'm going to be 80 next year. I can't believe I'm going to be 80.
Wow.
But this woman, Alice, said to me, to these men, there were 10 retired men, and she was just charming. She said, Max, you're not drinking your coffee. What's wrong with not drinking your coffee? Sam, how's your wife? You told me she wasn't feeling well yesterday. Don, don't put sugar in your coffee. You have diabetes. So-and-so, give me a hug. You haven't given me a hug. I mean, I had such a smile on my face, and then I realized that the Warminster Diner has changed. Because people don't, you know, the phone isn't a phone anymore. It's a text. I'm going to sound like an old lady. I am an old lady. It doesn't, you know, people don't use the phone as a phone anymore.
I do, I love to talk on the phone. It drives my wife nuts.
Mark likes to talk, period.
People don't care, you know, people don't, you know, not.
Yeah, it's a
you know,
different world now, that's
it's a
true.
different world.
It's a very much different
And
world.
there's nothing I can do about it.
Keep the faith.
Keep the faith. There are still people that care.
I want your card, I'm gonna send you all my articles that I have.
All right, great, thank
It's all
you.
common sense crap.
Yeah.
Okay, common sense
All right.
crap.
But anyway, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks
I
for coming
appreciate
in.
you all. I was glad that everyone left because I was getting a little.
Okay.
You did a good job.
Very
Don't be nervous.
Very
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're quite
And
welcome.
the playground is wonderful, but then right away when I hear when she was like, "Ah."
Yeah, well, it's fine. Everything,
And a week
Jess
after-
does a fantastic job. She wouldn't
And
let fire
a
start.
week after my husband died, I had a major fire at the eye care center. And he called the eye care center. The eye care center, he cared. That's why.
Yeah.
It wasn't the eyes. It was, well, he did do that too, but it was the eye. But I had a major fire there, so I really appreciate fire.
Yeah.
Great, thank you. We'll,
Yeah.
we'll,
Anyway,
we'll look into all your concerns.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Anyone else?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Jen.
Hi, Jen.
Is Jason.
Jen, Jason.
And we're with some neighbors today.
We're with some neighbors
Hello.
today. She didn't want to get up, but it's okay. Jason and I have lived on the same street in Centennial Hills for 15 years
at least.
Yeah, I've been there, I'm dating myself, but I've been there almost 40, and I know Mrs. Frescator. So we have noticed a problem with the stop sign at Centennial and Revolutionary, and then also at the S-curve.
The
of
Hancock and
Centennial
Betsy one.
and Hancock.
Correct.
Yeah. At both stop signs, opposing traffic doesn't stop.
That's correct.
So there's a constant issue with people not stopping.
Sure.
People at the stop sign don't stop.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Do you hear me yelling at them all the time? They think I'm the crazy woman. I did tell the township manager, our engineer, everybody is looking into this and finding what the best decision would be to curb these problems that we're having, because they do fly and there are people that almost get hit all the time.
The problem is he did get hit.
I've been hit.
Oh, Jason, I
motorcycle.
didn't know that. You should have told me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I was making a left
Yeah.
and they didn't stop.
Did you say on your bicycle?
On my motorcycle.
Motorcycle, he
Took me out.
Oh, wow.
He's the bullseye in this whole intersection. He's at 99 Centennial, so when you come from county line to that stop sign, you look right at his house.
That's his
Right.
house.
This
It's
is
right
my
there.
house.
Right.
Yep.
He has a governor's driveway, so if he goes to make a left into his driveway,
I know there's no sight, like if I back out of her driveway, I'm scared to
Can't
death
see.
somebody's gonna.
Absolutely.
Right,
And-
right.
Well, I just want to take a moment to explain this because I have had some officers outside my house
I really
lately,
appreciate
which
that.
we love.
Yes.
Everybody's really.
Oh, yeah,
thrilled.
they said they were gonna be
we've gotten
watching.
a lot of positive attention over this.
Yeah,
Good,
I-
good,
We're
good.
really thankful.
But one thing that happens, and this happens in both directions,
Right.
is if I'm coming from Hancock and somebody is stopped at that stop sign, when they see me come around the corner, that's when they start going.
Yeah,
It doesn't make any sense, and it happens in the other direction as well.
yeah.
He's right.
As soon as they see it, that's when they start inching forward, which is why I got hit, because I started making my left, and this guy just started going. He actually did stop at the stop sign, but went too early.
How do you think, since I actually studied the intersections already, so.
Yeah, and I'd like to get
I'll
an
go into
update from
detail,
you.
But how can we address that?
I
Can you
thought
tell-
of speed bumps, but I don't know if the
Well,
township will
why-
allow that.
But he said they start creeping out, like,
They do.
Because
And
I
when the,
can't-
when the cops are there, it's hysterical because you'll see them creep out, then they see the cop and they
And they're
stop.
like, uh-oh, gotta stop this
They,
time.
they know that this stop sign is there. We can put tape on it and
Right.
lights and it
Right.
doesn't matter.
okay, so what do you think the solution is? Because I can't address the operator error part of it.
Right.
I could do everything you just said.
Put a
and
sign
it's
on it
been-
that says you're on camera.
Yeah.
Don't even put a camera there, just
Put
say
a
that.
dummy up.
Would
Well,
additional signage help? I mean,
Well, what we
Well, you
did-
know that, as I've said before, in a lot of these stop signs, that there's a sign there that says rolling stops $250.
Yeah.
Full
Yeah,
stop
we do
free.
that?
Great.
They
So-
tend to work in other places. I don't
bet.
know.
What
I-
do
Well,
you think,
Maybe
Craig?
if
The
you
problem is that
approaching
it's,
the
that it
stop
is
sign too.
operator.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm thinking if you had a sign under it that said, if you see somebody coming, don't go.
Yeah, but if they're reading that sign, will they actually see the stop sign?
I mean, I've always thought the cops outside my
Hey,
house and
hey,
I say you
stupid.
saw it.
This means you.
So basically,
Put
people are
additional
just
signage. Why don't we look into
disregarding the
additional
stop sign unless they see a police officer there.
Jen sat in my driveway yesterday, it took her less than a half hour to catch people
I have
fighting
video.
because they're road rage,
Yeah.
because they don't know who has the right of way anymore.
Is that an all-way stop sign there, or
No.
doesn't
No.
one side
No.
continue?
That's what we recommend, if I
Yeah,
can just
but-
jump in a second.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
go
Apologies.
ahead. Yeah.
So the manager requested, after all the complaints and supervisor, and it's been going on, we conducted studies at both intersections. worked with the police, Public Works. We are recommending that, and Ken had a good idea of some extra signage, I guess some communities do about, if you stop, it's free, and if you do a rolling stop. That's fine. That's not really regulated, because remember, we have to follow the regulations of PennDOT, the state, and all that. So we are recommending all-way stops at each one. There's still going to be an enforcement. I'm going to tell you, they're still going to roll through it. It's in every community. It's up to eventually do enforcement. You can do lights. You can do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
They're still going to do what you say because there's no solution there. One other solution that we discussed with the manager is people trying to, they can see that the light's green at County Line Road, and they
Try to beat it.
And they try to beat it.
They try to beat it.
So our traffic engineer made a recommendation, and I'm not getting into details, but you could put louvers on to try that they can't see the signal that close. Now, PennDOT just had those removed in other roads in this township and other communities because it's a safety issue at higher speeds.
Gotcha.
I think they'll work at lower speeds here. So there's a couple alternatives to look at. We're discussing them. We did complete our reports back in April and May. The township has those, and we're trying to determine the cost and what to do. Because, as you know, each time you do traffic calming or additional regulatory signs, the next neighborhood wants it, the next, So we have to do everything per the state we have, and we have recommendations. I think we try things along the way with signs first, always stops, and then we'll see what happens. But I'm going to guarantee you what you described is it's not going to fix it.
If I may, I'm not an engineer, obviously, but an always stop sign, what should be considered for that, both parts of the intersection is when people are rounding the S-curve and they're coming down towards Revolutionary, a stop sign there might create more accidents because you cannot see.
They come flying.
Yeah,
You can't see
well,
them.
so our report identifies that there are sight distance issues.
Yeah.
It is a big issue
It
there.
is.
It is, and if you exclude that, it meets warrants for installing all the stops, so.
Yeah.
I'd say right now, it's something we have to discuss internally. We did our traffic analysis. We followed all state guidelines. We measure sight distance. We have pictures. So we have all the backup data that we would need to submit to regulate, and you have to create, a report for each stop sign that you install. Our traffic engineer did that, and it's now kind of, I guess, at the manager's level for us to decide, and the Public Works Police, what we're going to do.
Okay.
So it is being evaluated. They heard you. Everybody's been asking about it. We took pictures, measured everything. I agree with everything you're saying.
I know that I might be too much in saying this, but feelings of the heart don't generally go with facts. And emotion doesn't blend with statistics, but there are 14 kids between Kathy's house next to Dutch and down the Revolutionary under the age of 10. I used to ride the bike up and down the road to the stop sign. I played with her daughter. We were all over her daughter. Go ahead. Sorry.
So we bought our house.
Say your name.
Adele Norek on Revolutionary.
Thank you.
So we bought our house June of '73. So I've been there since the sign went up. And all I have to say is it's getting really bad. And we're lucky somebody hasn't been really hurt over there. And the one neighbor couldn't come, but July 4th weekend, he was cutting his grass. 20 people went through the stop sign in an hour. So
I got
that's,
about 20 people yesterday in a half an hour.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
we know,
we're dealing
we
with.
know it's a problem.
terrible. I mean, it's
And,
nothing that's
yeah.
anybody's fault.
we asked the
No, it
engineer,
happened, yeah.
Yeah.
we've asked everyone to look at it, and our police force to
Yeah.
at least be there, and
And they
they're
have-
limited, also, we can't have a police officer just sit there all day.
No.
But we'll have some sort of solution. And I think right now, I guess, well, we've had this conversation, like an all-way stop, and then maybe those louvers so people can't see the light until they get a little closer, so no one's racing down the street.
There might have to be additional regulatory signs. I mean.
Yeah.
I think
mean,
the additional signage is terrific.
Yeah, we have to start somewhere, so
Yeah, I
maybe
think
we
that's a
start
great
there,
place to start.
and then
See
see
if
what
it
happens.
works.
But again, when people disregard traffic rules, people disregard everything now, and then they say, well, what's the big deal? But those rules are there for a reason. And one of the things is, especially young kids, they don't have any idea. Right, they don't get it. Like when you see a ball, you know, a child's going to be following right behind it.
Yes.
But, I mean, we're well aware of it, and we're going to do something.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can I ask a question, Craig? This is directed at you. Since there's that other side street that goes the other way, that when you come out, like Centennial, if it could go straight? Hamilton, thank you. Is it possible to make the traffic go this way and then have that one little section where it's the blind corner where that's one way? Between Revolutionary
I can't comment.
and Hamilton?
I'm sorry.
People that live there don't want
I'm outside the box thinking, but because then that way, the people that use it as a cut-through, it's no longer going to be convenient. And that way, when you come to Hamilton and Centennial, you can see the other stop sign.
It is a main vein, though.
Right.
From Tenant
Yeah.
to.
Well, I understand
It gets
that,
a lot of
but-
traffic during school open and close, gets a lot. And their
Yeah,
kids,
it's
their
a-
kids too that are racing through them stop signs, high school kids. They
But
are.
then you'll be
School
able to
gets out,
see
it's-
both sides.
Well,
Yeah, real bad.
we'll have a look at everything, honestly. Yeah.
That's all.
It's just
We
a
are
thought.
working on it, just so you guys know, everybody's on it, and
Yeah, we're aware of the issue there, and it's an odd, it's an old wagon trail probably at one point. Probably an old Indian deer trail. So, yeah, it just happens to be an odd intersection, and we'll figure something
We
out.
almost made a drinking game out of it and sitting in his front yard, but we figured we'd be too
Everybody be
smashed by
playing
the
on,
time
yeah, right?
We'll be drunk.
Yeah, everybody will
Give me
land
a
on
call
the
for
lawn,
that. I'll
right?
be over. Give me a call. Give me a call for that one. I'll be over. Sure.
Yeah, that's right.
since we both live in the neighborhood, you can call both of us.
Yeah, because
Jen, you have my number. Call me anytime. You called me at the right time last week. I was on my way down the shore. I had plenty of time to chat.
Yeah.
Sure.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
everyone.
our pleasure,
you.
thank you, thank you. We'll come up with something, and then we'll let everybody know, and we'll have that conversation.
Very much look forward to it.
Yeah, great.
because
Our
we had the
pleasure.
same thing as, we used to live in Jacksonville and Kirk, and people used to cut through and run Kirk all the way around to Newtown. So then they just made it where it just dead-ended, and you had to come from one direction or the other.
Yeah, but that was for a different reason.
I know, but we have to look outside the box for some things.
Well, thanks for
Okay.
coming out.
Thanks for coming
We
out.
didn't forget
Appreciate
about you guys. We didn't. Because I see it every day, and so is Kathy. So.
John, how could I forget about you?
Our co-star's here.
Yeah.
Co-star.
You're welcome. Have a
Thanks,
great
man.
evening.
John Priobus, 674 Joseph Avenue. Just want to say one thing about this lady here that was talking earlier. I used to be a patient of her husband's. He was one of the top eye doctors in the area, very well respected. And I know that he passed away and had to go somewhere else. And I would say not satisfied since. So he was an amazing guy. Was doing some pioneering work with laser eye surgery and stuff like that. So, guy was really pretty talented.
Great.
On to the next thing. Maybe paint the intersection white, put the stop sign on the thing. You know, don't block the box like Philadelphia. Could be an idea. One of the things that I wanted to
That's
talk.
thinking inside the box, John.
Yeah, whatever it is. You know. I might have to check with a few people, Ken. I wanted to touch base a little bit on the duty tow stuff. It looks like it's going pretty good. 7 months, we're into it now. I haven't really heard any bad feedback. One of the issues I'm having, I had talked to Ken a little bit about the fee schedule. One of the things that concerns me with not having it updated is we're having an issue with the long-term storage situation where the insurance company, to get around that, they're settling with the vehicle owner and laying it on the owner to settle the storage. So those are law in Pennsylvania. You can't abandon storage. And when it's their responsibility, insurance company, whatnot, should be paying. I went from the insurance company and got a no answer, went to the owner of the vehicle and got the, where the sun shines. So I got, it's not that I'm getting stuck with it, I'm getting stuck with it. Some of that stuff should be on like a new schedule. We know what this fraud situation is with the insurance companies. It's coming more to the table with these repair facilities
ripping people off through the insurance company. So the fee schedule, I think we need to just take a quick look at it and maybe adjust it. I'm even hearing it from insurance adjusters saying that our numbers are way low. You know, with the added amount of time that we're on and things like that, we're not like overcoming the expenses in some areas. So
Yeah, John, I think we talked about this before.
Right.
We need to, that fee schedule hasn't been updated for over
like
10 years.
12 years,
12
maybe,
years,
something
so
like
it's
that.
time.
I
It's
talked
time
to Brian Monroe. I've been trying to find, it's just not the insurance companies, but some people that don't have insurance, they have an accident, and you tow the vehicle, and they just don't come back. One of the problems is, one, we don't have information on the vehicle owner or that kind of stuff. So that I was just wondering, is there any way that we can go around the right to know information to get the information on that particular accident or owner of the vehicle without paying the $15, so we can at least send them a certified letter, things like that, in order to try to recoup the money so we can legally get rid of the vehicle without having to go through the salvage program with the state. I am a salver. I can do it, but Harrisburg has delays, things like that. You're supposed to do it in 48 hours of getting the vehicle. Sometimes we're sitting on them for weeks, and then you send all the paperwork up, and then 3 months later they send you the paperwork back. You know, so you're loading up with vehicles. So trying to streamline some of those things that we've never done before. If we can get information for those vehicles so we can send letters. There's another thing that we can do too, and I'm working with Brian Monroe about it, with the fact of the abandonment of salvage. There's a law in Pennsylvania. I can't find it, but I know it's there. If a person abandons a salvage, or the insurance company abandons a salvage, then I can file at the JP's office against them and then have a formal hearing. If they don't show up, then it'll be ruled against them, and then the judge or whatever can, I guess there's a form or something that goes back up to Harrisburg, and the owner of the vehicle then will have that put on their driver's license. They'll suspend the license until the fees are paid. So there's a little twist and turn there with it. I hope I made sense, but I'm going to work with Brian on that part of it to see, you know, to make sure that we're all doing it all the right way.
Right.
That's my goal.
Yeah.
Line it all up. We got this far with it. It seems to be going well. Let's go a little further and nail down the back end of it.
Well, we'll have a look at the fee schedule, but one thing we cannot do is supersede PennDOT or the state.
Yeah, I understand that. Well, I understand that, but like, I understand that. That's my job after it comes to me. I can't, only thing I'm asking for is information of the vehicle owner, so I can certify letter them and tell them that the vehicle's here and you need to pick it up and give them a bill.
Yeah, we'll have a look at that too.
And once that thing goes, boom, boom, boom.
The solicitor will look at that to see
Right.
if we're violating any state law.
Well, I don't think you are.
Well, we don't know. That's his job,
Oh,
not
okay.
mine.
Wouldn't the police
Right.
send a letter?
So we'll take care of that, John.
Okay.
All right, great.
Well, you have to give me the information one way or another. So I'm just asking you, how do you want me to ask for it? Do I do a right to know form? To get the information of
From
the
the
vehicle owner of the vehicle that was in the accident.
Well,
Can you get that from the vehicle
Can you get that?
identification
Chief
number?
is raising his hand.
Well, I
Get
can,
it from the operators at the accident, have your tow truck driver take the accident.
well,
Right there. I'm telling your vehicle, here's our card, what's your information?
okay, if you want me to do that. I mean, I was always told that we weren't really allowed to approach them.
I'll put it out to get it.
If you do it that.
The right to know, you can take possession of the property.
That's right.
Right.
Right. Okay. Well, if he lets us approach the people.
Okay.
Okay, and that would save a lot of time for everybody.
Yeah.
Then when we do our log with the logbook, it'll all be in there.
Can you get it from the vehicle identification number?
Well, I can't run that stuff. I mean, I'd have to go to my.
Any tags place does that, doesn't it?
Well, technically, they're not allowed to give out information
Privacy
under
Act.
that, whatchamacallit act.
So it sounds like Chief Donnelly gave us a solution right here.
Yeah, I
Okay, so
love
they're
it.
gonna let us talk to the, okay.
Or
so
they will give you.
Sometimes we
information. I
get
don't
there and there's no people there.
What about
So
Right.
then we'd have to
know. So
ask.
Chief, we.
So we just call, we just
We
call.
got it? Okay.
All right.
Perfect.
Thank you, Chief.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
thank you, Chief.
Thanks, John.
Great, thanks a lot, everybody.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
In the meantime, we'll look at that fee schedule too, because it needs to be updated.
We have one more public comment too, John.
Did you have to say that?
We have one more public comment.
Behave yourself.
Save a little for later.
All right. Anyone else? Anyone else? Okay. Let's move on to the consent agenda. Consider approval of the Board of Supervisors minutes dated June 8th, 2023, and the 2023-2024 Consortium Fuel Contract Award Recommendation. Mr. Scott, who would that be?
That would be, let me look it up. Pardon me. I heard it announced at the WMA the other night. I just don't
Yes,
remember it.
yes, right, and I don't remember either. Who is it?
Petroleum Traders Group.
Okay, excellent. So is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion.
I'll second.
Second, okay, any questions or comments from the public? All right, being none, let's call the question, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carries 5-0. All right, Mr. McKee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to make a motion to ask for a second that we approve the bill list dated June 15th, 2023, in the amount of $2,096,832.10, along with the supplemental bill list dated June 30th, 2023, in the amount of $846,240.59, totaling, ooh, wait a minute, I don't have a total here. I have a total right here. $2,943,072.69. I can't add that quick in my head.
Wow.
Is there a second?
Johnny can.
I'll second.
All right, any questions or comments from the board? From the public? All right, let's call the question, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carries 5-0.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome. Mr. Ramey?
So-
Oh, go ahead, Tom.
I was just going to say, it's, for the other matter, for the consortium bid, it was Petroleum Traders Corporation for deliveries of 6,000 gallons or greater, and the Riggins Corporation for deliveries of less than 6,000 gallons.
Yes. And
Thank you. Sorry about that.
speaking of thinking outside the box, I did pose the question at the WMA meeting is why we couldn't combine that, and that is not allowed. So, yeah, I figured we could combine that and get a lower rate between the municipal authority, but it's per delivery. So we can't do that. Go ahead, John.
Okay, so I'll be real quick again.
Thank you.
I know usually I do only talk about the general fund, which I'm going to focus on, but I do want to just say that we do examine all the funds every month to make sure they're all operating properly, and that's what allows operations like just presented earlier to afford doing parks projects. So it's really important that, like, as much as we focus on the general fund, the other funds are saving money to do capital projects like was presented earlier. So in the general fund, through the end of May, revenues are actually up 10%. The big thing is all the Act 511 taxes are up, which is the EIT, LST, business privilege tax, the mercantile tax. The only one that isn't up is the transfer tax, which I think last year was just an elevated above what was the usual. So between them, the other big one that's really leading this is the building electrical permits are up 855,000 compared to last year.
Wow.
We have two big developments going on right now between the Tesla dealership and another one.
Christ Home.
Christ Home.
Yes, Christ Home. So that's what led to all of those other permits coming in. On the expense side, we are kind of flowing almost exactly like last year. We're at 35% of budget. Last year, we're at 33% of budget. Even with that little extra 2%, part of it is those extra permit fees. There's a percentage that goes to Barry Izett, so that's increasing those expenses. So the L&I fees are up $546,000, and that's directly related to the increase in permit fees that came in. Besides that, everything else is looking really good.
Excellent.
Thank you for the great report.
Thank you, John.
John, I have to say, it's a pleasure. Again, I think that we've assembled an incredible staff here, and I commend you for keeping track of all the budgets, because there are a lot of different budgets, and that's how we can afford, by managing and making sure that our budgets are sound. That's how we pay for roads being paved, park projects, and all the other community work that we're doing. So thanks for all your work.
I just want to add one comment. So I've been coming to the meetings for many, many, many years. I've lived here for a really long time. You are, and don't be getting a big head either.
Too late.
You're the best finance director we ever had.
Oh.
He is.
There you go.
He is.
Now there's no living with this guy.
All right. There's
I think it's a good time to ask for a raise, right now. I would shake them down. I would shake them down hard right there. I would.
I mean,
Tomorrow morning.
So the only other thing I would say departmentally wise is we are starting to roll forward next year's budget. By the end of this month, I'm hoping to have salary schedules, historic figures to all the department heads so we can start working on next year's. And it is a long process. It is a 6 month process. If they don't have it by the end of July, it's too late. So
Right.
Everyone will have everything, and we'll keep the normal schedule.
Yeah, when's the auditor coming in?
She'll be here next month. We were hoping for this month, but she happened to be in Hawaii for the last 2 weeks. It was her 20th wedding anniversary. So
Very nice.
Give her a little slack.
Yeah, we'll give her some slack on
yeah,
that.
but everything is done. I literally emailed her before walking into this room, so everything is completed. No findings. Everything's good to go.
Excellent. Excellent. Great news.
We have no
Thanks.
worries with you. Seriously.
You're the best.
Yeah.
It's nice
on
to
a
have.
standpoint, I
No
really
big
always
head
hope
now.
that.
Okay.
Put it in the envelope. That's what I used
Yeah,
to say.
you can put your wish list in to Tom, but it's nice to have competent people here.
It is.
Yep.
Okay, thank you, John. New business. There is no unfinished business, so consideration to authorize the Township Administration to advise Mascaro and Sons of Audubon, PA, that Warminster Township will unilaterally extend the 2018 contract through 2024 and 2025 as per paragraph 3 of the 2018 contract for the amount of $3,641,796 for 2024. John, stick around for this, please. Hold on, we have different amounts. This is not the latest and greatest. This is. Yeah, it's the same.
One amount's different than the other. You said
One's for 24, one's for 25.
Yeah, so it's $3,641,796 for 2024.
Okay.
And $3,787,000,
25.
$464 for 2025, yes.
Okay.
It doesn't
Okay.
say that. I see.
Yeah,
That,
yeah.
you're right, that's what the confusion is.
To provide
Okay.
twice
Okay.
weekly curbside trash pickup with the contractor providing wheeled receptacles. And to further authorize administration to pursue verification of bond and insurance requirements for the 2018 contract for limitation of the 2-year extension for the years 2024 and 2025. Now, I'll just make one comment. Is there a motion?
I'll second.
Okay, so just so for the public and everyone here in the room, and I'll hand it over to Tom shortly, but the new rates to put this out to bid are exorbitant. And it's in the township residents. So as stewards of the township money, this is the best deal we can get. And in 2 years, we're going to see a huge increase.
Hey, ask the people of Northampton.
Yeah, Northampton,
Our
what was that
neighbors.
number? It went up?
Hey, they got waffled.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it went up to $3,000 or something, I think, didn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, it was incredible. So, John, My question to you is, and I think you're prepared for this, how's this going to impact the trash collection, the fee?
So I did an analysis, and the fee should stay the same. The one thing that the township has done correctly over the time is put the recycling grant, the Act 101 money, into the sanitation fund. So it's built up some fund balance to allow that we would not have to do any increases through the life of this contract, including extensions. So
Excellent, well done.
So that's where I was able to take it out the next couple of years, include these increases. The one thing you mentioned was Northampton. They went up to $575 for once a week.
Once a week.
Once a week. So it was a lot bigger increase for less service. So
Yes.
the fact that we can keep a high level of service for a discounted rate is definitely the way to go, I believe.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree.
Yeah.
So we should have a lot of happy residents.
For the next 2 years.
Yes.
And after that,
All bets are off.
no promises.
That's right.
All bets are off. And, you know, and let's just be honest here. We may have to consider once a week because the new fees are going to be quite stiff. So,
I know when that was proposed in the last contract go around, they actually told us that it was more economical for them to pick up twice a week because they'd have to make more runs back to the plant to dump trucks as opposed to twice a week. That it was more economical to do twice a week. Whether that'll be next time around, who knows?
Yeah, we'll see.
But,
We'll
yeah,
see.
to
But
get
Not to
prices.
mention, people that put out, that have other services in their township, they don't pick up couches, chairs, and all that other stuff for free. You have to pay a fee. You have to call somebody, you have to
Right.
pay a fee to have things picked up.
I will say
So-
Mascara does
And they,
accommodate.
right,
Don't
they'll
give them
take
any
anything.
ideas.
In the 25 years I've been here, I have never had a problem with
I
Mascara.
haven't
I
either.
never have.
Well,
I
we
mean,
had a
so-
little bit of a snag, but it was,
During
who wasn't?
COVID, everyone
Right.
did.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Pandemic.
Yeah, exactly. That was not their,
No one could get
I mean,
help.
Right.
they couldn't help that. And,
Right.
and you know, and eventually we resolved that problem and,
Right.
and everything's back to normal. Yeah. But you know what, John? Excuse me. Thank you for at least having the foresight to put the Act 101 money into the, into
And
that.
it should be in your
budget.
packets, the analysis I did of every year, the fund balance going to the next year.
Yes.
And it's slowly gonna go down, but the fee staying stable we should be able to do this extension with no increase.
So we should get through the next 2 years with no
Yes,
increase.
absolutely.
That's
excellent.
good.
Good.
Excellent. Thank you.
Sure,
Well
Mascara,
done.
I'm sure Mascara wasn't happy about it.
Yeah.
They're not getting any more money, but
Yeah.
that's the way it
They
goes.
wanted to bid.
So,
Sure they did, sure.
so I guess we had a motion. I made a comment. Anyone
Motion
other,
second.
any other comments? There was a second.
Yeah, I
believe.
second.
Yeah.
Yes. Any questions from the public? Comments? Okay, being none, let's call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? And the chair votes aye. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Okay, moving along. Professional reports. Mr. Scott?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to add from the last topic with Mosquero, the service that the residents will experience will be exactly the same.
Yeah.
Twice a week, red toters, the whole 9 yards.
Okay.
So it's the same tenets of the contract. We're pushing it out 2 more years as we're allowed to do. Thank you for your authorization tonight. We'll take care of it with them. All right, so the Township Manager's report, I'd just like to say that we are very close to recommending to the Board of Supervisors for the bid for the library renovations.
Cool.
We had the bids opened about 10 days ago at the end of June, and they're a little higher than we thought, but we believe that the low bidder is the correct and qualified candidate. And we are checking on the subs that would be part of that, because it involves all the trades, really. And we're hoping to have a recommendation for the Board of Supervisors at the next meeting for that bid. I also want to announce that this is John Tintara's last Board of Supervisors meeting. John has...
Hey, it ain't so, Johnny.
He's leaving Warminster Township, walking away, and I think it's, you guys, you knew him before you knew me, and I think everybody would agree that John's been here for a couple of years, has plugged a lot of holes, did a lot of things, and including what he's doing here tonight while Jill is on vacation.
And he took the brunt of it during the pandemic when Mascara was haywire.
Yes, he
took
did.
the brunt.
Oh, yes,
he
he
took the
did.
brunt. People
He
screaming
got-
at him on the phone
He
every
was getting
day.
abused. but he-
John, you were here for
proof.
the rough go, right?
Oh, yeah.
He was abused.
He was.
He was awful.
He's moving out west.
So
Are you
we have-
really?
Lancaster.
Oh, okay. That's cow country, right? Is that where you're from, Craig?
Yeah. It's a couple doors down from my parents.
Cattle, cattle. Well, John, we didn't know that. That's news.
Thank you.
And all the best to you. And you've been a great asset to the township. You were here. You were always efficient. Always had answers, and always willing to grab an oar and row. And we really appreciate everything while you
I
were
would
here.
ask for a round of
Yes. John was ready, willing, and able all the time.
All the time.
And always
I
had
loved
a
it.
Through
always
thick and
had-
thin, right?
That's right. That's right.
Always has a great attitude and a wonderful smile.
When that was going on,
always.
I was talking to Weezer, and you know who's getting screamed at on the phone every day? Me and Jonathan Terry.
Yeah.
Because they were the only ones here.
I guess you won't want to see another yard waste bag in the rest of your life, will you? All right, well, all the best, John. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, John. Thank you. I'll be in to see you before you go.
Absolutely.
He'll be around for till
Yeah, about August 4th.
Okay,
August 4th, so we're gonna have lunch. And,
excellent. Yeah,
yeah,
well deserved.
that's all I have.
That's all you have, Tom?
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you,
Mr.
Tom.
Flagger?
Semi-report, I have nothing further to announce. Enjoy the rest of your summer.
Great.
Thank you, Randy.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Flake.
That's the best.
All right, Mr. Kenner?
I promised Randy I'd keep it short. A couple updates. Shenandoah Woods concept plan is underway. Judy Stern-Goldstein from my office met with Jessica on Monday. That was our second meeting. I attended the first kickoff meeting. We're working on a base map, just overall layout of what Jessica and Township would like to see. So I believe they're shooting for an October presentation in front of this board. And we'll be continue to work on the concept plan in the next couple of months. I do have some bad news, and I don't have any real updates other than the Warner Park lighting, the contractor, the vendors, and lead time to get the material. We have a major issue with all the vendors and the lighting. It's just, it's across the board.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. It
All
doesn't matter.
electrical.
Yeah,
Yes.
all electrical. There's nothing we can do. Maybe I'll have a better update next month, but that's kind of put a little bit of a monkey wrench into that project. We will be bidding out for the third time, and hopefully we'll get some successful bidders on the Public Works fuel tank project. Mr. Scott gave me the go-ahead yesterday to do that, so we'll put everything together here and bid in August, and hopefully be a potential award in September to try to, I talked to Andrew yesterday, he'd like to get that wrapped up this fall, so.
Yes.
We'll jump back on that. And if anybody noticed, the concrete work for your curb ramps have started. The road program is done as far as the paving, and they're working on your concrete ramps starting this week. And that's all I have.
Great.
Thank you.
Yeah, just, I know any electrical switch gear and everything, we've been waiting for, at the waste treatment plant for new switch gear and control systems, and it's been over a year. It's
Mike-
that square D. and it's
Michael,
just-
is it like 40 week, what was the delay? It was
3 month?
45 weeks, we were
Yeah.
told 42
Wow.
weeks.
Wow.
Now it's down to like, yeah.
Great.
Every
Great.
vendor, it
Well-
didn't matter which.
Oh, I know.
contract.
It doesn't matter. It's that, for some reason, electrical equipment is just, it's just tough to get. Well, thank you, Craig.
Thanks, Craig.
Thank you.
All right. Upcoming agenda items.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We've got the, as Mr. Ramey indicated, we're going to have a report from the auditor at the next meeting. We're also going to probably, I think, have the information for the 2024 minimum municipal obligation for our uniform and non-uniform pensions. Which will be a number that will frame a lot of what we're doing with the pensions. And it's been a tough year for the market, as everybody knows, so
I don't know, the market was looking pretty good.
Inflation's down.
Yeah, inflation's down to 3%.
I don't mean like this week. I mean 2023.
Economy's booming.
Hey, I hope I'm wrong.
right.
I hope the
We're gonna-
MMO is great.
We're
We'll
going to
welcome
have
the
good
party.
news.
Everyone's working. Come on.
Everyone's, yeah, unemployment's at the lowest in history.
Two chickens in every pot.
That's right.
I'm like, what?
Come on, Tom, positive thinking. All right, thank you.
Thanks. So we want to pick a meeting. Do we want to stick with August 3rd?
Sure.
For the next Board of Supervisors
Yes,
meeting?
we do not need to meet July 20th, I don't believe, because it's only a week away.
Because there's nothing we have to do.
We've taken care of all the business of the
I can't
township.
make it on August 3rd. I'm having a procedure.
Do you want to change it?
That's it.
No?
I absolutely can't make it on August 3rd. Possible.
The following week I'll be away.
All
Just
right,
so
so
you know.
we'll just have to have it then, I think, okay? Yeah, thanks for letting us know, Judy. Yeah. I don't think there's,
Who am I gonna share mints with?
You know I have this. Put him on her chair.
I don't think there's anything major on the agenda.
No, it doesn't look
anyway.
like anything
Yeah,
on the horizon
right,
anyway.
Right. We won't have any firefighters to welcome until September, I believe. Okay. All right. Anything else, Tom?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Second round, public comment.
Johnny?
No?
Who's staring
No?
at him? Look.
Really?
What happened?
Wow. Thank you, thank you. It's 5 after 9, thanks, John.
Oh, right.
All right.
Right, I do remember that.
Well, I want everyone to continue to enjoy their summer. Remember, there's children out there running around with absolutely no concept of how much a car can do damage to a human body. So please, don't look at your phone. Keep your eye on the road and enjoy your summer. That's all I have for tonight. Kathy?
I'd like to wish everyone a safe summer, and I'd also like to say what a very productive meeting we had this evening. We're making vast improvements in a park. We're probably gonna be the prototype for other parks, because I've never seen, I go to a lot of different parks, I haven't seen anything that they put on this, I thought that was amazing. All the vast improvements we're doing in the library, the roads, the stormwater. I could go on and on and on, but he wants me to cut it short, so I'm gonna cut it short and say, great productive meeting, folks. And team, we did a great job.
Thank you.
Thank
you,
you.
Kathy. Don't forget Ben Wilson Center, new HVAC.
Oh, yes,
and
it is. I
yes,
was cut it short.
that's okay.
Okay.
That's all right.
That's it. That's up and running.
That's
It's
up and running. Yes.
They have heat and air.
Heat and air conditioning. Awesome.
But we're still waiting on the generator.
Yeah.
Right.
For the emergency.
Well, again, electrical
Right.
equipment is just impossible to get right now.
But that's an emergency center for people.
Yes.
Right, so
And
it's not
it'll be there.
related to the
Yeah, so when it comes in, it'll be
On
installed.
the blazing heat like today, somebody can go over there and cool off.
Yeah, there you
Oh,
go.
yeah.
Oh, they can go over there and do that right now. Yeah.
Right, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, that all works.
All right.
Cool.
Okay, Mr. McKee, you have
Thank you, Mr.
anything to
Chairman.
add?
I just want to wish everyone a continued great summer. Try to don't overheat if you're outside doing things, especially people in the workforce. Drink lots of water. And I also want to compliment whoever left the glasses in the room there, to spare glasses for Mr. Hayes to use tonight for his readers. A real fashion statement.
I
Put
do.
them back on. Boy, they were lovely.
And they're
Wait, what do
the
you think?
perfect.
Someone left them behind. Perfect. Perfect fashion sense.
You know what? It didn't matter. I could see what I was, what
Perfect.
the agenda was.
That's all I have. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thanks, Mark. All right, Janice, go ahead.
I want to give a shout out to Hugh Cullen. He's one of our residents here in Warminster. He's been out of the township for a while because he had some health concerns, but he came back today, so it was real exciting to see him come home. So I wanted to give him a shout out.
Oh,
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Everybody enjoy the rest of your summer. Take care. We'll see you in August.
All right. Judy?
Yeah, everybody enjoy your summer, and enjoy Bastille Day on Saturday,
Forgot all about
if
that.
you celebrate it. And I want to tell you that the Ben Wilson Center is having on August 22nd a Senior Saver Celebration Day with food trucks and ice cream trucks and things like that. So try to come out on that. Check the website. We don't have a flyer on it yet, so that's it. So thank you. Have a good summer.
Great, okay. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion.
Great, thanks very much, everyone.
Great, right, Mark?